Hey, so everybody knows, or at least I should hope they would know, that I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yes, I talked about the Book of Mormon to people in a foreign land and wore the white shirt and tie. Over in Latvia, specifically. In fact, that's where my wife and I met. I was asked to speak Latvian, she was asked to speak Russian. That's why our child says goodnight in a bunch of different languages. About our child, his name's Ether, and he is named after a prophet in the Book of Mormon. Ether was a prophet that watched two civilizations basically wipe each other out entirely. There was some amazing records that he kept. One of them was a story about a man that was simply referred to, kind of comically, as the brother of Jared. Turned out to be a pretty long name, and that's probably why they never mentioned it specifically in that set of scriptures. His long name was Mahonri Morienkamer. It's a pretty good one. Well, over the past couple of years, the church has been producing these Book of Mormon videos. They go over a bunch of the awesome doctrines that the prophets taught. It even depicts all the scenes when Jesus comes to the Americas, performs miracles, teaches his gospel to the natives and Jews here. And some of these are the first depictions of these stories ever portrayed on film, ever. And that means that they're not necessarily supposed to be the epitome of all cinematic filmmaking, but I wanted to share with you, I'm going to call it the best video that they have made so far. And it just came out last night, and it's called The Lord Appears to the Brother of Jared. This has some of the most epic looking shots that I've seen in any other production so far. There's a scene where all the barges are going over the ocean waves, and the lightning is making the barges light up in the ocean, and it's dark and stormy and wavy. There's some beautiful moments where people are coming out of the barges, and the lighting and the reaction is just absolutely stunning. One of the most impressive pieces about this video is the fact that there are awesome drone shots, and some of them, for some reason, really blend well with the filmmaking. They have quite a diverse group of people, clothing, and the design of the wardrobe. Some scenes flash forward, just like in the Book of Ether, to a time when Moroni, the last writer of the Book of Mormon, the son of Mormon, is writing on the gold plates. He's the one who buried the gold plates in the Hill Cumorah, right outside of Palmyra in New York. And that's where Joseph Smith was led to find them by an angel. Clearly, one of the most sacred parts of the Book of Mormon is where the brother of Jared is trying to figure out how his people can survive without lights in the barges that the Lord guided him to make. And it's a really beautiful scene, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it's very impressive. Another fun little detail is the way they depicted some of the plates that were connected together not by rings or loops like we've seen before, but there's this pin in the upper left corner that lets them slide like a deck of color swatches. Anytime there's a depiction of a character that you just love, you're always worried about how that actor is going to do, how he's going to look, how it's going to match what you imagined. Well, for the brother of Jared, I 100% loved this actor. I think he was humble, he was genuine, he had a great facial structure, his hair was really cool. It was perfect. When I think of the parts that really stood out to me, it's where the brother Jared and his family are experiencing what happened at the Tower of Babel. This is where they pray to the Lord, and he spares them by not confounding their language. This may be the only depiction of how freaked out people were at the Tower of Babel when all the languages were confounded. It's a rather chaotic scene, as you can imagine. One of my favorite parts that I had to laugh out loud about is just this famous line where they say their barges were tight like unto a dish. And I'm so happy that they had to include that in there. The other aspect of this that I had never ever considered was the fact that the brother of Jared was always referred to in context with his brother. So there was close connection. They had this relationship, and it is so evident. It's so cool. There's a couple of very The Chosen style embellishments where they talk about exactly what happened in the actual written scripture, but it's portrayed with a little personality. There's some moments with such epic detail in the smallest ways, like when he's forging these clear stones. It's such a cool look. Reminds you of Lord of the Rings. The depiction of the 16 stones glowing is I just loved it. And no, like I said before, this isn't meant to be a cinematic masterpiece or anything like that, but it's definitely the doorway that needed to open up that is going to inspire other filmmakers to make something more realistic, maybe more accurate to the period, language accurate, possibly. But again, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I highly recommend that you go watch it. I'm going to put the link down below.